and it didn't bother me at the time. What bothered me more is I don't know what the electronics of the scanning system are.
In other words, radiation.
Yeah, I'm told it's safe, but people say it's safe, and then they find out 5 years later, hey, it's not safe.
They told me fish oil was good for me, and chocolate was good for me, and so
Yeah.
it's a question of being sexually molested.
Yep.
Or radiated.
Or both. It could be both. For me, it was both.
And you chose both.
No, I didn't choose anything.
And you got both of them?
I got both. They scanned me and said, ooh, we need to pat you down. So they did.
So I noticed the Civil Liberties Union, have they filed any suits against us?
No, the only thing we heard about was over the Thanksgiving holiday when there was supposed to be a mass protest, and it just didn't materialize.
Now, are these the most up-to-date machines that they're using now? I mean,
That's what they're saying.
This is the state of the art?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Well, what sort of bothered me for a long time that the people at the airport who were doing the patting or the scanning had felony convictions and felony records, and because of the rush to get people out there, they never checked them out.
That is frightening, not just because of the personal affront, but because they're supposed to be doing a security job.
Well, you know, I guess the answer is that you don't have to fly.
Correct.
You can drive your car.
Or take a train.
You take a bus or a train.
Right.
And if you want to fly, because of the potentiality that we have of constant living in fear of problems, I guess that this is the less intrusive process we know today to discover potential threats.
Well, what you're saying is correct. There is a choice. Unfortunately, the choice is don't fly.
Or Skype.
Don't fly, or contact your congressman or congresswoman and say, you know what, I travel quite a bit. I want to be secure in the aircraft. I don't want to be frightened that there's something bad is going to happen on the aircraft or to the aircraft. But on the other hand, I don't think that going through that scanning device is foolproof. I don't want to do it. I don't like being patted down. There's got to be some other way.
And the answer is don't fly.
And the congressman or congresswoman may say just exactly what you just said.
Well,
don't fly.
And I noticed that the pilots don't go through those machines, and the airplane people don't go through the machines. So
no,
I guess
they do have to go through security, though.
I guess if you dress up in one of your cute little outfits and it says pilot on it, and
what
your
was
little hat.
What was the name of the guy who was in the book in the movie Catch Me If You Can?
That was great. Yeah.
I can't remember his name now.
He would never
Nails.
I remember it.
I can't remember his name.
Well, it's interesting times we live in. So
yeah. That's
now.
Go ahead.
How many people out there remember the Pentagon Papers?
I do.
Now, what were the Pentagon Papers?
The Pentagon Papers were Frank Abagnale. Frank Abagnale is not the Pentagon Papers. Frank Abagnale was the fraud artist in Catch Me If You Can. The Pentagon Papers were Daniel Ellsberg, psychiatrist, broke in. Who broke in and stole the psychiatrist and published the psychiatric reports? Who did that? Was that Ellsberg who stole?
Well, Ellsberg was a psychiatrist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't remember it as well as I should.
And there was a break-in into his office.
Yes.
And ultimately, the New York Times published a lot of things about other things, about the war and casualties, etc.
Yeah,
And the United States Supreme Court said, got a First Amendment right to publish it whether it's stolen or not.
Right.
So
now that's as to the New York Times.
Yeah. Now then what happens with WikiLeaks?
Same problem, isn't it?
Yeah, to me it sounded like the same. Forget about whether Mr. WikiLeaks was, and for those of you who don't know what a WikiLeaks is, it's not something with a urinal. It is an internet site that releases documents and things.
And has been.
For a long time.
Yeah. Julian Assange is the founder and CEO of WikiLeaks. He's in jail because he has allegedly sexually assaulted two women in Sweden, and they don't like that there. They take that seriously. So he's in jail in Great Britain right now.
And no bail is...
no bail.
But in terms of WikiLeaks themselves...
Yes.
don't they have the same First Amendment rights as the New York Times did?
Apparently, and the reason that I say apparently is because the guy who actually released the documents to begin with, and those documents, no, not Assange, the release of the documents to Assange.
Yeah.
He was he was a private, a PFC in the United States Army in the security division, not generally handling.
Yeah.
He's in jail. He's not supposed to do that. But as far as WikiLeaks getting these documents, hundreds of thousands of documents, and releasing them, I think the federal government thinks that they have a First Amendment barrier that they can't cross. Otherwise, they would be prosecuting Assange for that.
Well, he's in another country anyway. Couldn't find him anyway. But
well, then,
it just seemed to me
they know where to find him now.
It just seemed to me that 30 or 40 years later, the Pentagon Papers thing, which was a huge thing during the Nixon era, is now a huge thing in 2010, almost 2011, and it has the same fundamental rights issue to it.
Interesting how these issues are cyclical.
And the other thing that caught my eye today, which is that the court has refused to get involved in the city of Bell, which we know has been involved with lying, cheating, scandaling, and stealing everything you can think of, and 4 of the 5 council persons are under indictment or charged with major felonies.
Right.
And the city of Bell is still being run by the inmates, which I thought was...
You mean you mean the council people who were in and out of jail?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And the court didn't get involved in that. That sort of bothered me.
Well,
I know there's a presumption of innocence. They may be all totally innocent. Can't judge them when I read on the LA Times.
But that presumption of innocence attaches in the criminal court building. But why won't the civil court judge allow the city of Bell to be run properly until a new city council can be elected? Because one will be elected.
I don't know, but it's like letting it's like prisoners running the prison.
Well, yeah, on a big budget too.
We sort of got to hit the road.
We do,
Jack.
Let's go. I want everybody to have a wonderful holiday season. We'll be watching you. You'll be watching us on City TV Channel 16 in Santa Monica, LA 36. But I want you to have a great holiday, wonderful New Year's. Steve, same to you. Whole staff, same to you guys. We'll see you soon.